So these are the vehicles we'll be talking about today. So you see there's 7 different, call them flavors of hybrid sedan in the Toyota lineup. No other manufacturer offers so many varieties of hybrid powertrain in their lineup, and we do a great job with sedan. Obviously, recently we added Corolla hybrid. We've had Camry and Avalon for quite a few years already. So let's start with Corolla hybrid, being the newest one in the lineup. You know, this is something that was very exciting when it came out. I got to drive one of these. Was it last summer when it came out? And I really love this car. I spent a lot of time in it. And we'll talk about the value proposition, surprising performance in this vehicle, how the customer can save by owning a Corolla hybrid. And of course, we always like to talk about safety. That's a great selling point for any Toyota vehicle. So we have another poll. Let me just open it and give you 30 seconds to respond. So this is in regards to the 2021 Corolla. So this is the latest version of the Corolla. We have made some slight changes to the 21 model, and one is with the airbag. So how many airbags on the 21 Corolla? 6, 8, 10, or 12? So a few more seconds to answer, and then I'll tell you the correct answer and see if anyone got that right. Of course, this rolls into the safety, you know, high points of Corolla. You know, generally with any Toyota, you're going to have most airbags in the class or segment, and Corolla is no different from that perspective. All right, so let's see what everyone said. Okay, looks like we have, C was the correct answer. It is 10. It was 8 last year, so some of you answered 8. But C10 is the correct answer for airbags. So these are the updates for the 21 Corolla. 10 airbags is new for 21. Also, Android Auto finally makes its way to Corolla. When we launched the redesigned Corolla last time, we didn't have Android Auto quite ready yet. We just had the CarPlay. So now it has both standard Apple CarPlay and standard Android Auto. Blind spot monitor with rear cross traffic alert. So Corolla did have blind spot monitor available as a package or standard on some grades, but it didn't have the rear cross traffic feature for some reason. That has been corrected. So now when you get blind spot monitor on 21 Corolla, it comes with rear cross traffic alert. That's a great system. I rely on it all the time when I'm backing out of a parking spot to make sure no one's coming. And then there's a new feature that's going to make its way into other Toyotas. It's called automatic engine shutoff. It's basically a system that will alert you when your car's been running after it's been put in park and maybe you've left the vehicle, that the engine will shut off automatically to keep you from running a vehicle after it's been parked and you've gotten out of it. So this will integrate alerts with your Toyota app on your phone, letting you know that it's getting ready to shut the engine off, and you can allow it to do so or decline. So those are a couple new updates for across the Corolla lineup, not just hybrids for 21. But let's talk about the hybrid in particular. So the Corolla hybrid only comes in one grade, the LE. And so let's compare the LE hybrid versus the LE gas and see, you know, where the value proposition might be. So if you look at base MSRP, there's actually slightly over $2,000 difference between the gas and hybrid models. So that's more of a premium than we're used to trying to overcome, like with a RAV4, for example. But what you notice in the sedans, and this holds true for Corolla, is that the fuel economy of the hybrid model is significantly better than the gas model. So in this case, it's 43% better than the gas model, which is already good fuel economy. So that 53, 52, 52 number for the hybrid, those are Prius type numbers. And I remember when I drove this LE hybrid, I would typically get over 60 mpg on numerous trips driving it, you know, conservatively. So it's capable of fantastic mileage, very similar to Prius and Camry. So make sure your customers know that they could potentially save up to $400 a year in fuel alone because of that spectacular gas mileage. So if you obviously divide the 2,000 by 400, that's a 5-year recoup of your money just in fuel costs. But that's not the whole story. You get more equipment with the hybrid LE. One is it has alloy wheels instead of steel wheels. That's a nice upgrade customers look for. The other one is a 7-inch multi-information display. So you notice like on vehicles like Camry and Avalon, and also the XLE and XSE Corolla, they have that large 7-inch multi-information display. It looks great. It makes the vehicle look premium. And even though it's an LE grade, it has that premium feature. Another thing is smart key and push button start. That is standard on all of our hybrids. With a gas LE, of course, you have a mechanical key. And obviously, once you've had a vehicle with smart key and push button start, it's hard to go back to the mechanical key. And then finally, as an exterior accent, the hybrid Corolla has triple J LED headlamps. So those are the ones that you see on XLE and XSE that have the LED accenting. And it looks much more better than the traditional headlamps that you see on the gas version of the LE. So overall, yeah, there's a premium to be paid. You get a lot more equipment, and the fuel economy will save you money, you know, every day you drive the vehicle. And like I said, if you drive this thing conservatively, it's not unusual to get much better fuel economy than the EPA rated. So performance-wise, again, you want to focus on the MPG, how it's like a Prius, but in a Corolla body, which again, a lot of people like the idea of Prius mileage, but they're not really attracted to the unique styling of the Prius. Corolla takes care of that. So it has that powertrain from Prius, including an advanced hyperprime nickel battery. You also have those drive modes. So, you know, this is something you want to accent on the test drive. You know, put it in power mode, let them feel the acceleration. It accelerates much quicker than a gas model. So right there, the performance is going to pay off for the customer. It also has a feature called active grille shutters. So it's a grille shutter that opens and closes to help give you better fuel economy on the highway. So you're going to spend less money on gas in particular. You're going to spend less time fueling the hybrid Corolla. In fact, 10 fewer trips to the gas station in a single year. So that's pretty significant. If you could just put that in a customer's mind, there's 10 fewer times you're going to have to go to the gas station to fuel the vehicle because of the incredible gas mileage. That's a big win. And then there's also, you know, the idea that the hybrids do actually save on emissions and fuel use, and that is positive for the environment. It's a smaller carbon footprint. And don't forget, Corolla Hybrid has a $1,000 customer cash in the month of June, and also is eligible for the $100 spins. Again, not just June, but through the July 4th weekend. And don't forget safety. We like to highlight safety with all of our models. The Corolla comes with the latest TSS 2.0, and that includes some enhancements to the pre-collision system, including enhanced speed reduction. So that's fantastic. Also, that new feature called Lane Tracing Assist, or LTA, which helps keep you centered in the lane. Don't forget Star Safety, the fact that it's a top safety pick plus, and also they voted the Corolla Hybrid 2020 Green Car of the Year. And then finally, with Corolla, we'll highlight the battery warranty again, because this is a recent enhancement for 20 model year. We've gone up to 10 years, 150K on the hybrid battery. Note that the warranty is transferable, so it stays with the vehicle. That's a good selling point. And then let your customers know the batteries are designed to last life of the vehicle. Okay, so when the vehicle is going to stop work, or when the battery is going to stop working, or what it's going to cost to replace when it does, should be one of the customer's last concerns because of the extensive warranty and our experience with the reliability of this powertrain. Right, so that's it for Corolla. What I'll do now is turn it over to Jeremy, and he'll continue with Camry. Jeremy, I think you're muted.
Oh, sorry about that. Trying out a new microphone, so growing pains. But anyway, Camry hybrid. So continuing on with the sedans, the LE hybrid, SE hybrid, and XLE hybrid are your three models within the Camry hybrid lineup. We're going to talk a little bit about the value of these vehicles and how you can kind of show customers how to sell the value for these. The performance also increased for your hybrid powertrain. How to save some money, of course, maybe some time as well, and then a little bit on safety. So when you look at Camry hybrid and you look at the price premium, for example, in this LE comparison, it is substantial when you're comparing it to, say, even Corolla or RAV4. So you're looking at $3,460 increase for the hybrid powertrain, but it's not just the powertrain that you're paying for. But let's take a look at fuel economy, though. It's a 62.5% increase in gas mileage over the gas model. So pretty much Prius equivalent fuel economy, but you're going to have a powertrain that gives you somewhere in the realm of about 90 more horsepower than a Prius. So much better performance, but almost the same fuel economy. But in an LE hybrid, you're going to get dual zone climate control, which you don't in the gas version. You'll also get smart key with push button start. Again, you'll get a mechanical key in the gas model. You'll get the different drive modes in your hybrid grades. So EV, Eco, Normal, and Sport. Again, nothing in the gas version. And there's a difference in safety. While the gas model has dynamic radar cruise control, it is not full speed dynamic cruise control like you get in the hybrid. And the reason is the hybrid version comes with an electronic parking brake. So that's that little push button parking brake on the console. And in order to have the full speed version of dynamic radar cruise, you have to have that electronic parking brake. Now, what's the difference? Well, your regular dynamic radar cruise will shut off below 25 miles an hour, whereas your full speed will go ahead and slow you down and stop you eventually. So if traffic were to come to a stop, it can bring you to a full stop. It's a great feature to use in traffic as well, because you can just set the speed at any speed and it'll just follow the car in front of you. All right, so when we look at performance, again, the fuel economy is impressive, 52 combined, but if you look at the horsepower rating, it's 208 versus 203 in the gas, and doesn't seem that great. It's 5 horsepower. Are customers really going to be able to detect that when they drive the vehicle? And the answer is yes, because it's not about the horsepower rating in our hybrids. It's about how we utilize the torque of the electric motors. And that's really that seat of the pants performance you feel when you get in the vehicle and you step on the accelerator and it takes off. Our hybrids are instant torque all the time, doesn't matter what speed you're going. The gas models, of course, have a conventional transmission, has to downshift, the engine has to rev up in order to get that power band or that torque curve to increase. So yeah, while it's only a 5 horsepower difference on paper, when the customer drives it, they'll feel this vehicle is much more powerful than the gas version. And of course, with the different drive modes, you can kind of choose what you want. Do you want more fuel economy, a little less performance in eco mode? Do you want more power, right, and kind of sacrifice a little fuel economy? Use the power mode. Or if you want a balance of the two, of course, you can just leave it in the normal mode. But I think it's key to have your customers drive these vehicles before they can make an informed decision. But less money, less time, less carbon. So a lot of money will be saved in fuel economy alone. So you can see the 20 miles per gallon. That's, again, 62.5% increase, substantial. And again, it's 87 octane. You don't need to put premium fuel in our hybrid vehicles. Just take the cheapest gas. Time savings. Well, Corolla might have saved you 10 trips to the gas station. Camry still saves you 8, and that does add up. There's also additional time savings, less maintenance on this vehicle overall. Brake pads are going to last a long time because of the regenerative braking. So a lot of customers will purchase or lease a Camry hybrid and never change the brake pads during their entire ownership. So another thing to stress to consumers. And then, of course, fewer emissions and less fuel consumed. And we might overlook this at times because we think, oh, well, I don't know. If somebody's interested in a Prius, maybe they're more of the environmental type. But I would encourage you to at least mention that to your customers, because there are people who will solely buy a vehicle because of the hybrid powertrain and the fewer emissions that it produces. They're not buying it because of the fuel savings, although it's a great benefit and there's a lot of other benefits. It's just important to them to make a statement or to use less fuel and less carbon emissions emitted. So don't forget about that. Camry hybrid safety. So a lot of safety standard on this vehicle. Of course, we have TSSP, so it's going to include your pre-collision with pedestrian detection, lane departure alert, auto high beams. And again, the hybrid version will have the full speed dynamic radar cruise control. And of course, Safety Connect along with Wi-Fi will be a standard feature of all Camrys as well. And you can see we've got a 5-star crash test rating from the government, and IIHS for this year gave us the top Safety Pick Plus rating. So that's the highest rating available from the Insurance Institute. All right, so let's switch gears to the bigger cousin of Camry, the Avalon. So Avalon Hybrid comes in 3 grades also. So the XLE, XSE, and Limited. Again, we're going to talk about those same categories of value, performance, and we're going to add a little competition in there as well, and safety. So when you look at the Avalon, the MSRP of a hybrid versus the gas isn't that big. It's much less than a Camry. It's about $1,125. Now, when you look at the fuel economy, it's almost 70% better for the hybrid versus the gas. So that's the biggest difference in terms of fuel economy, hybrid versus gas model, and the sedan lineup. If you just did a quick calculation, if a customer buys a car, they finance it for 5 years. So 5 years they're driving this car, let's say it's 15,000 miles a year they drive. Based on the average price of gas, they're going to spend about $4,261 in gas versus $7,212 in the gas model. So about a $3,000 savings. If you divided that $3,000 by your 60 payments, that's almost $50 a month they're saving in fuel alone, right? So substantial savings, $3,000 in savings. You're paying a little over $1,000 more for the car, and don't forget this vehicle also has 0% or $2,500 customer cash also. So it really makes it a little bit more appealing. Now, competition. Again, there's not a lot of competitors in this full-size sedan segment, non-luxury anyway. But if you look, there is a Lincoln MKZ hybrid. And if we do a quick comparison, just a few topics to look at. Gas mileage, we're 43, they're at 41, so not too bad, just a little bit less. But one of the things that's pretty noticeable is the trunk of the Avalon is 16.1 cubic feet. It's a pretty big trunk. The Lincoln is 11.1. So 5 cubic feet less. And I think this can be a deal breaker for a lot of people. I know the previous generation Camry hybrid, we had located the hybrid battery pack in the trunk, which did sacrifice quite a bit of space. And while customers loved the car, they loved the aspect of the hybrid and the gas mileage, they couldn't deal with the trunk being that small. So they would pass up on that vehicle and just buy the gas version. I think Lincoln has that same issue now with the MKZ. Of course, in all the Toyota sedans that are hybrid, we've located that battery under the rear seat so that it does not impede any of the cargo space whatsoever. You look at a few other technologies that we'll offer that you won't see in the Lincoln, like bird's eye camera. Of course, the longer hybrid battery warranty. We do the 10-150 versus their 8-100. All that, and we're still about $1,700 less on the MSRP. Right, add that $2,500 customer cash, and now you can see there's a pretty big difference. All right, let me put up a quick poll for you. So I just want to know what the trial period is for Safety Connect on a new Avalon. Right, so is it 6 months? Is it 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years? So I'll give you guys about 30 seconds to go ahead and answer. I will give you a hint. It is different than most 2020 Toyota vehicles. So we see we got most of your answers in. 5 more seconds. All right, so go ahead and put up the results for you. And yeah, everyone pretty much got the right answer. So the answer was 3 years. Now I know most of our other vehicles are still 1 year for 2020 anyway, but Avalon continues with 3 years. There's 6 vehicles in the lineup that also have that 3 year. Now that may be subject to change in the near future. So we'll hold out, see what happens for the 21 model year. All right, but safety-wise, it's very similar to Camry. It's going to have the TSSP, so again, pre-collision with pedestrian detection, lane departure, auto high beams, full speed, dynamic radar cruise control, and of course the Safety Connect with the 3-year trial period. It is a top safety pick for 2020, a top safety pick plus, just like Camry, so that is the highest rating, and 5-star crash test rating as well. All right, so in summary, on our Toyota sedans, there's a little bit larger price premium than some of our SUVs for the hybrid powertrain, but don't focus just on that increased price for the hybrid powertrain. There's other things, right? There's additional equipment that you're going to get. There's time savings, right? Yeah, there's fuel savings. There's a performance increase. There's additional things like the environmental aspect, lower carbon footprint. So make sure you sell all the features of the vehicle. You're also going to see that safety, of course, just like on most Toyotas, there is no options here. Everything's standard. So Toyota Safety Sense, Safety Connect, Star Safety System, and now all of our hybrid sedans will have 10 airbags, starting with 21 Corolla. And of course, the longer battery warranty, 10 years, 150,000 miles on all 2020 Toyota hybrids.